Good morning, traders. I'm ready to get right back after it, and Hendrix is ready too, man. We're all ready for the market. The only thing that you got to do out there is smash that like and get it started. It's here, live trading with Benzinga, and we're not holding back. Let's go get some money.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, team, let's get it started. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the market. And of course, let's bring on our guys here. We got Nick Brown. Ryan will be with us in a little bit. Like always, you guys can check out News by Nick if you're going to stay up with all the latest action in the stock market. Appreciate you coming. Like always, Nick, we'll get to the action and we'll get to some of your stories in a second. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at what Moo, of course, as I took a shot yesterday in the afternoon. I said, you know what, guys? We got about 3 day trades. I'm seeing a little bit of a leak today. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to take a shot in the SQQQ. You guys saw me take the buy here and I actually added some more shares in the afternoon. That's what you guys missed out on. But there you guys see it. Up a pretty good amount on the SQQQs right now. We're up there towards 1719 and on the high. I have this from 1671. I'm looking for about 1730s. If I can get a run into the 1730s, 1740s, that would be another major win here for this account. And I can't be mad about that. Look where we're at now. We're at 615. Can't be mad about that. Another really good trade and continuing to move forward yesterday with a nice little $8 trade there. So just going to keep pushing. And it's been the swing trades of late that have been helping me in this small account. And now up 6% in July. And overall on the account, guess what? 22.34%. I don't think that's too bad, man. And if I can finish the year and keep pushing this, I mean, who knows? Maybe we can get this to 60% up for the year. Who cares about it being a small account then? If you move any account 60% and you show consistent gains and losses, that's how you start thinking about yourself as a trader. And then from there, you can figure your way out to the PDT and start making some real money. All right, so Ryan's already here. You can see he's not going to fail us. He's always going to be with us if he can, and he'll take a couple of seconds. But I'm going to actually kick it to my man, Nick Brown, because he's been ready and itching to give you guys some news. So go ahead, Nick, kick it off. Talk to us about different stocks that are going on. Of course, like I think it was like 1,000 earnings reports. But let's get to it, Nick. What do you got for us?
I was going to say, good morning, guys. Ryan, thanks for being here. You know, if you're not here, then the show's not the normal way. So
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. We're going to start off with Netflix. That's a big mover. Netflix reported Q2 earnings, EPS of $3.29. Estimate was for $2.85. So, of course, this was a better than expected quarter than most expected. They did miss on revenue just a tad bit. Revenue came in at $8.19 billion. Estimate was for $8.3 billion. They see Q3 EPS of $3.52. Estimate was for $3.23. They see Q3 revenue, $8.52 billion. Estimate was for $8.67 billion. They see full year operating margin of 18% to 20%. Estimate was for 19%. Rolling out paid sharing to almost all countries yesterday. So they actually did that yesterday. They rolled out all paid sharing to countries and added 5.9 million subscribers in the current quarter. Now, comments from Netflix. Executives declined on Wednesday earnings call to give specific information on the rollout of its paid sharing initiative so far. Co-CEO Greg Peters said Wednesday that the company will not see the full effect of the policy for several quarters. Co-CEO Ted Sarandos said Netflix looked at opportunities to buy intellectual property and build its content library. On the conference call, he did say, quote, our M&A and activity would mostly be around IP that could develop into great content for members. Traditionally, we've been very strong builders over buyers, and that hasn't changed. Netflix stock is getting hammered after hours, or I should say pre-market. This morning, I think down around 6%. But given the run up into it, most people are, analysts are saying that this move really isn't nothing. That's basically with the same story of Tesla, and we're going to get there here in just a minute. But first, if you could throw up a chart of United Airlines, Ryan, ticker UAL. They reported quarterly earnings yesterday after the bell. Adjusted EPS came in at $5.03. Estimate was for $3.99. Operating revenue $14.18 billion. Estimate was for $13.9 billion, so better than expected. Passenger revenue $13 billion. Estimate was for $12.71 billion. And revenue passenger miles, 63.5 billion. Estimate was for 62.7 billion. And they did actually give some guidance. They see full year adjusted EPS of $11 to $12. Previously, they saw $10 to $12. So they are narrowing that range in. And the estimate, according to Refinitiv and other platforms, they say the estimate they were looking for was $9.80. So, of course, above the expectations. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby in the earnings release, quote, said, the United team persevered through an unprecedented series of events at the end of last month. They are the best in the business, and we're focused on the important changes we can make, especially in Newark, to serve our customers even better. All right, the one that everybody's been looking for is Tesla. And so this stock is like up 130% year to date, I think. They reported earnings yesterday after the bell. Adjusted EPS 91 cents, came in better than expectations of 81 cents. Revenue came in at $24.9 billion. Estimate was for $24.51 billion. Free cash flow $1.01 billion. Estimate was for $2.18 billion. They say the start of production of Dojo training computers. Cybertruck remains on track for initial prod this year, for the initial period this year, and focusing on cost reduction, new product development. Now, comments from Tesla and CEO Elon Musk. So all the headlines that I'm about to give are basically from Elon Musk and Tesla, basically on the earnings call. He says they expect to use both NVIDIA and Dojo. They open to licensing full self-driving software and is in early discussions with a major OEM. It will increase spending on artificial intelligence. It increased their 4680 cell production in Texas by 80% in Q2 over Q1. They continue to see improvement in commodity costs. Will allow transfer of the full self-driving as part of the one-time amnesty in Q3. They benefited from $150 million to $250 million in IRA, so that was the Inflation Reduction Act in Q2. Company has made 10 Optimus robots. They will take NVIDIA hardware as fast as they will deliver to them, and they would have to lower vehicle prices if macro conditions do not remain stable. I don't know, AI was mentioned on the call, but again, same story as Netflix. This stock is up 130% year to date. So this loss this morning, this loss pre-market today, according to Vital Knowledge's Adam Crisafulli, isn't really nothing given it's just a healthy pullback. So we'll see if the dip buyers will buy this. But there's been a lot of price target changes on this and Netflix and IBM. Still trying to go through those, so we'll probably bring those price target changes to you later in the show. IBM, Ryan actually asked me to do IBM, of course, because he wants to hear about AI. IBM operating EPS came in at $2.18. Estimate was for $2. Revenue $15.48 billion. Estimate was for $15.54 billion. Free cash flow $2.01 billion. Estimate was for $3.03 billion. Software revenue $6.61 billion. Estimate was for $6.35 billion. Consulting revenue $5.01 billion. Estimate was for $5 billion. They still see full year revenue at constant FX plus 3% to 5%. Estimate was for 2.89%. Comments from IBM, Arvind Krishna, IBM Chairman and Chief Executive Officer, says, quote, organizations are using our hybrid cloud and AI technology and our consulting compatibilities to transform their operations. He says, we continue to respond to the needs of our clients who seek trusted enterprise AI solutions, and they are particularly excited about the response to the recently launched Watson X AI platform. Finally, they remain confident in their revenue and free cash flow growth expectations for full year. I was going to say, if you could throw up a chart of Johnson & Johnson, J&J, they reported earnings this morning. Adjusted EPS came in at $2.80. Estimate was for $2.62. Revenue came in at $25.53 billion. Estimate was for $24.67 billion. PharmaCell's $13.73 billion. Estimate was for $13.19 billion. So they see full year adjusted EPS of $10.70 to $10.80. Previously was $10.60 to $10.70, so a little bit of an upbeat there. And they see full year operating sales $99.3 billion to $100.3 billion. Previously was $97.9 billion to $98.9 billion. So they are raising the guidance. Freeport-McMoRan, FCX, they reported Q2 earnings this morning. EPS 35 cents. Estimate was for 34 cents, so a beat there. And sales came in at 5.74 billion. Estimate was for 5.54 billion, was a beat there. You can throw up DR Horton, DHI is the ticker. They reported quarterly earnings this morning. EPS $3.90. Estimate was for $2.79. Sales came in at 9.72 billion. Estimate was for 8.39 billion. They raised their full year 23 outlook to 34.7 billion to 35.1 billion, from 31.5 billion to 33 billion. Estimate was for 32.34 billion. And this morning they said they will provide Q4 guidance on the conference call. And to end it off, Taiwan Semiconductor, TSM, they reported earnings this morning at like 1 a.m. Eastern time. EPS came in at $1.14. Estimate was for $1.08. Revenue $15.68 billion. Estimate was for $15.49 billion. They expect Q3 revenue of $16.7 billion to $17.5 billion. Estimate was for $17.68 billion, so just a tad bit light. They expect Q3 gross margins 51.5% to 53.5%. They expect Q3 operating margin to 38 to 40%.
All right, good rundown, Nick. I think the one takeaway there is that those stocks that ran into earnings ended up trading down no matter what the print was, right? Like Netflix and Tesla especially seem to be pulling back here today. I'm in agreement there. I know that, you know, people playing the binary event are probably a little upset, but in reality, when you look at the bigger picture here, both of these stocks ran pretty considerably into earnings. This is just a healthy pullback. It'll be interesting to see what the broader market does here today. Of course, market down, or the Q's down on the backs of those reports. SQQQ trading back up after I was stopped out of it, so that's fun. So we'll see how it goes here today.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I have to go through the research notes, Ryan. There has been tons of research notes upgrades to price targets this morning.
Okay.
Wedbush for Tesla. So I'm still going through them. We'll provide those later in the show. I got to get back to the research here because there's just tons. I want to get them for IBM, Tesla, Netflix, all the major ones.
Okay.
Because there were some pretty sizable upgrades in targets. So I'm going to go read the research notes, and we'll stick around, course, for breaking news, but we'll have another segment for price targets specifically coming up later.
Okay, excellent. Really quickly before we start here, I want to go through some of the smaller cap stocks that are in play here today. First one is going to be GooG. Remember the last time that we played this? GooG, of course, has a catalyst here. Shares are trading higher if the company announced a strategic relationship with British Telecom to deliver AI-powered innovative smart port solutions. So nice little AI partnership PR there. We're actually trading right above 3. VWAP's at 299. This should be an interesting formation. We'll watch this out of the gate here. Another one here is going to be PRFX. This seems to be continuing to move on momentum. This, if it gets any upside, we really need to take 10 out and need to do that on considerable volume. We'll see if that ends up working. EDBL, this is Edible Garden. This did pop, but it came all the way back into VWAP. Worth at least watching just to see if it gets rolling here. I saw Crow mentioning Boyle. Looks like we're going to have some natty gas players here today. I'm probably going to pass on that. Remember, Nat Gas, known as the Widowmaker, as far as I'm concerned. Just be careful when you're trading those. They're quite volatile. BSGM, this is another one that had a catalyst here this morning. This popped as high as 175, really kind of bled back. We're a little extended away from the VWAP here. A company subsidiary was selected to join NVIDIA Inception program to support R&D collaboration on AI medical device platform for hospitals. So that is a PR that's right in the butter zone of these things that's making them go. We'll see if this goes. Market is open. Good luck. Let me flip over to the main tab. Mitch should be back shortly. Let's take a look at GooG. That's going to be a one out of the gate here. I think we should take a look at. First move on GooG is down. LYT, this little penny stock, this is popping. I'm pretty sure that this is a promotion, though. GOS. Okay, so this sold off. What happened here? And this traded right back up. GOS trading lower after the company announced a private placement financing of $212 million. That looks like that's done now. GOS moving back up here. Let me actually go to my regular tab. Share this tab instead. Movers. Mitch is back. Everything's good.
Let's get after
it. Oh, Mitch.
Only one way, baby. Did you hear? I have the SQQQs, Ryan, overnight. Move,
Oh, good
baby.
for you. At least one of us is hitting it. It stopped me out and then it went. So
Yeah,
yeah,
man, I
I'm
held it
still
yesterday.
I stopped out at 16 like 99.
I'm
It's at
watching.
1705. So I didn't really miss a whole lot. Grr, look at this pull off the open, folks. Oh my God. Grr, that's going down.
Grrr.
Jeff D's saying be careful with Boyle. Come on. Stop trying to kill the fucking bird. Sorry for my language.
Oh my. Ryan's having pet issues, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
it's just the bird's out in the morning and the cat is rested and in hunt mode.
All right, trying to see if the SQQQs can bounce here, right? It's pulled back from the open. I want to get it to like 1730s today, but of course, just going to watch it. It's pulling back here to 17. Would love to see it hold 17. I'll get out at break even. I'm not going to let this come back to break even, but I'm
Don't let it
trying
go
to.
red on you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to give it a little bit more room to give you that nice real win, right? Which should be closer towards 20 than how it was this morning at like 14. So we'll look to see if we get a little bit of a bounce. We'll look to see if like Tesla and those stocks go lower, right? Look to see if Netflix recovers today. All things that I would definitely keep an eye out for.
I'm watching BSGM here in case this can kind of bounce. Looks like it's moving lower here though. Yikes. A lot of weakness out there. T2 for you penny players. This had a PR here this morning. This popping higher. Let's get that. Why is it moving here? T2 Biosystem shares are trading higher if the FDA granted breakthrough device designation for the company's Canadia Auris direct from blood molecular diagnostics test. So that seems like a good PR. T2 up here for you penny players. I'll pass on that. Smoke Tuna calling NBTX. Smoke Tuna, good morning. Great to see you. Where are you today? What part of the world are you in today? NBTX is a nice pop here. Really needs volume to flow in here to really get going.
Where in the world is Smoke Tuna?
That is a Carmen Sandiego reference right there. Mitch bringing it all the way back.
Dude, all I gotta say is Valero, baby. You know it. It's your boy killing it on the swing trade life. Let's go. 120s now. Got in this yesterday at 116.95 for the break. And remember, I talked about 116 was a really good level to look out for on Valero. Yesterday, you got that 116 a little bit later in the day. You got a nice opportunity to go after that one. So keep your eyes on that. We'll see what happens. Valero going higher, energy going higher. Definitely looking for oil stocks to go higher. AMD dropping fast here. That looks good there for the SQQQs. Let's go, team. Time to flex today. I'm ready to get after it. Let's go. Money, 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 money. That's all I can say out there, guys. AMD going down fast here. Shows me more and more. We could get more tech pullbacks today. We'll see what happens. NASDAQ in the red here. Bouncing back from the open, but we'll see if it still stays in the red overall.
I don't see any setups yet here, folks.
Crude, big thing to watch for me is looking to see if that can get back up above 76 today. It's made a couple of attempts already to do that.
I was going to say JP Morgan was out with a note this morning regarding oil. They say they expect Brent oil to increase to $86 a barrel by end of Q3, but with stocks expected to start gradually building back in 4Q23 and 2024, prices should ease.
Deere going higher today. That's still looking great for me. I'm up almost 10% on that name. When I get to 10%, I'm going to take it and run because, I mean, just 10% on that name is just killer trade.
Don't be afraid to take gains when you get them.
Yeah, man. And Ross Stores is one that I have that's up a decent amount. I'm going to look to see if it can pop again, but keeping an eye on Ross Stores today. Overall sectors leading from the open, you got healthcare, energy, and utilities, followed by financial services. In the red today, real estate, consumer cyclical, and defensives. Also got technology, pretty much break even from the open.
Scalp Grr off the bottom for pennies.
There you go, little Grr.
Well, it's green on the screen. One of my swings is down this morning, so just getting some green on the screen here.
Let me get Hendrix out of here. 1 second.
Yeah, I probably am going to have to deal with my cat too. He's just screaming at me. All right, what else do we got out here, folks? We'll keep an eye on GooG. Looks like that bounce was short-lived. Just want to take those gains and get out of here. PFRX. Go ahead, Nick.
Ryan, it was interesting yesterday to see that Apple news pop with their own ChatGPT style that Bloomberg reported. It did that big spike, and then gradually throughout the day, it like kind of pulled back. And so we're in this market where if any company mentions AI, stock's gonna pop real high, and then it's gonna gradually pull back.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that was notable on that for me, Nick, was that we had a $1 trillion market cap company puts out an AI PR, pops $5, 5 points intraday in a hurry. Now, it did bleed all that back. That tells me that there might be a little bit of AI fatigue. By the way, while we're talking here about AI, PRFX really, really moving here. Spot, I was late to this one. Spot was about 927. We're at 1010 here. Crow, looks like you were on this one. This is a good one. Little late on this one, but that's okay. That's okay.
XOM pushing right now. I'm looking for pullbacks on oil stocks here to start getting some long on oil stocks.
PFRX, that was a nice move on volume right there, right up to the 10 level. Great job. I would trim that if anyone's got that. Maybe leave a trailer on if you think it goes more.
Valet getting in the green there for me. I like the 14s there for Valet to start making a move back towards 1426. Pre-market high right there at 1426, 1430s. I have it at 1401. Looking good there for the swing. Hilton, one that I'll be looking for to make a move to the upside today. That looking good here right out the gates. I'm actually might even try to get this in my prop account here. All right, I'm going to take 50 shares right there, and I'm going to look for a little bit of a pullback back to 149, then maybe hold off the lows right now around 148.70s. So taking a little bit of Hilton right now. We'll see what happens there. All right, let me set up the multi-screen setup here. My Stream Deck just straight crapped out on me yesterday. It was so sucky. I had to literally delete it and reinstall it.
Yeah, that sounds like it sucks.
Oh, no, it just completely sucks. It's to the point where now I have to go back and I have to kind of like completely start from scratch. I have to like delete all the pages that I had. I had like over 100 sounds on this, but now I got to start all over. That's just the way it goes.
Watching AQMS here. 150 definitely a spot here. If we take a look at the daily chart, looks like there's a bit of a gap here up to 160. If we can clear this out, so 150 needs to get cleared out. We'll see coming off that spot by a penny now. BSGM looks like it might be curling off the bottom here. Really probably needs to take 145 on BSGM. PFRX, that was a nice move out of the gate. Great job, guys. Blue, ticker BLUE. This looks like this is trying to break out here. 381. BLUE. 385 would be another spot. Maybe a 387 here on blue.
Q's not getting the lift right now. We'll see what happens there. The SQQQs. Correct myself. All right, let me see if I can get these pullbacks. Now XOM pulling back here. I like that pullback here. I'm looking for 102.75s, but it might take a little bit here. Took a little bit there just to start on XOM.
Which screen is that? Is that this one here?
Yep, that's the middle one right there. I still haven't fixed that up right now, but I'll get that going here, guys. We get this extra camera up here. Oh, there's too many. Let me go to a different one here. There we go. Boom. Put this whole screen, change this one. All right, there's XOM pulling back there. Now I'm going to look to add here in a second. All right, just added a little bit more. Just going to look to see if it starts to recover VWAP, and then I can add one more time if it recovers VWAP. I'm at 102.80s. We'll look to see if it starts to come back up through the 103s and 103.25s.
Crow calling Nicola. Nicola to 275. Your spot on the daily on Nicola. We'll see if it gets back up there.
Nicola.
Got the open on. Nice trade on PSQH WIS. That's awesome. That's moving here. Nice trade out of the halt. WIS is going to the golf course pretty soon. Get those Pro V1s.
All right, looking to see if Deer can keep climbing today. That's pulling back a little bit today. VLO, trying to see if that can keep climbing. Ross Store is looking well for me today. I'll look for that. Keep the push going. Where I'm red is on LAC on the swing, so I'm going to watch to see if that can recover today. Not looking the best here.
Jay, what do you make of that? What do you make of the banks and some of the tech names moving together? Nicola day high here, 266 on that high print for Nicola, if you're watching that still. Blue, I still think 380 is a spot on blue.
Still like LAZR for the swing, but I still have SQQQs, so not going to go ahead and get out of the SQQQs just yet. All right, XOM starting to come back up. That looks a little bit better now that it's kind of bottomed out around the 70s. Going to look to see if it can retake 102.90s.
What's the news on Twilio? It's something's going on here.
Twilio.
That's why I'm here.
Kathy loves to buy it, so you never know.
Nicola broke out of that 266 spot, going higher here, 268 offer now.
So I'm pulling back a little bit too much here, so just be careful.
RX getting some action here again. We traded this yesterday.
Looking to see if I'm getting just in a wick extreme here and it holds and closes back above 102.50s. But if not, I'm going to have to let ExxonMobil go. And
guys, I was going to say, watch Take Two Interactive. There's reports circulating on Twitter right now that Gordon Haskett has an activist note out that he mentioned Elliott Management. So just watch out for that.
Interesting. So the rumor was actually on TTWO, but TWLO, Twilio, popped. Interesting. I wonder if someone got that mixed up. I noticed the volume move. Interesting stuff out there.
all right, going to look for the SQQQs to reverse here around the 9:45, 9:48 time, but I'm already setting a stop just in case it starts going below that. I'm looking at 85s as the out there, so it could come back to like 88, but I don't want to see it break 85s. Then I'll just get out if that happens.
Nicola coming up to that 275 spot that we just talked about on Nicola. Ticker NKLA. You notice the same type of thing with top and tops, Crow. That makes sense.
So I'm starting to come back. Now I'm going to look to see if we can really take out 103s and 103.20s on the upside. Hilton not looking too bad. Just want to start seeing it make that up move back up above 150 today.
Okay, so what I'm seeing from the TTW Take Two Interactive on Twitter, this is from our High Squawk Beta guy at Benzinga. So I'm just kind of pulling from his Twitter here. He says Gordon Haskett's Billson thinks there could be a big activist in the company, which is Take Two Interactive. Hearing mentions of Elliott Management. So I think Elliott was mentioned in the news last night. Elliott Management taking a significant stake in Catalent. That's ticker CTLT. That's what the Journal was reporting. The Journal says activists to push for shakeup of Contract Drug Manufacturers Board. So we're going to have to watch Catalent. We're going to have to watch Take Two and much more.
Okay, appreciate that, Nick. Really quick with the news. Whisk calling Ahi here. Ahi popping into an upside halt, 418 on Ahi.
XOM going into the green there for me now, back up towards 102.90s. This is looking good. Now I just would really like to see it start holding VWAP and really start to climb now. All right, catching up with the chat. What's going on out there, team? How we doing? It's good to see you guys out there. I just want to catch a lot of you guys. Tanner, Mitch, you and I have the same plan, just different instruments. Well, hey, that's what it's all about, right? And I think that's a good outlook to catch, Tanner. And I actually follow a lot of traders on Twitter for that specific thing, right? I'm not looking to get ideas from people. I'm looking to get confirmation on my own analysis, right? So let's say if I'm looking at like energy stocks and I expect to see energy stocks go up, right? And I've done the analysis already. Well, I start looking around, right? What are my good trading friends talking about on energy, right? And then I take a look at that, right? If everyone starts seeing like kind of that upside, I get a little bit worried because I mean everyone's on the same boat. But if there's some people that are still short it and still think that energy is going down and you start to see that kind of swing back, that's when I start feeling a lot better on it. And the thing is also you got to be nimble, right? I was short oil and I flipped. Sometimes you have to be nimble like that. All right, we'll look to see if XOM takes 103s. If it takes 103s, there we're going to start looking a lot better. I got 150 from 102.77, so we'll look a lot better now as we start to climb. And then I'll look for 102.70s to hold from here on out and just look for it to keep pushing on the day.
Guys, there's some confusion here. I just want to issue some corrections here that's being made. There's some confusion if it's on Twilio or Take Two. I'm seeing multiple other sources here reporting. I'm trying to see, and I'm trying to see which note and trying to get access to the note. So I'm still trying to dig deeper, but I'm not sure if it's Twilio or Take Two. But watch those two stocks because they do have similar tickers, and I think there is a lot of volume now in related.
And Nikola still flirting with that 275 spot. No position on Nikola for me. But that 275, definitely a spot here. We'll see if that ends up breaking.
Ross Store is looking interesting there for me. We'll look to see if that can go higher here. I like the recovery of 113. If it can recover here and then get back up there towards 113.70s. It's not too bad here. We'll see if it bottoms out and gets back above the 113s. But the risk would be towards like 102.60s. So it'd be about like 40 cents for a 75-cent win.
SGMA, high 485 on SGMA. DNA, Rustam, I know you're asking about DNA. I don't see anything going on here, man. There's no setup here for a potential trade. This is just pulling back after a couple of good days. SGMA kind of coming back to the VWAP now. See if it settles there. That might give you some more strength on a move towards that 485 day high and then maybe even 5. Nikola coming back in a little bit now.
All right, I like this little setup here now for Hilton even more here. I just took a little bit more there off the 149.50s. So I have 149.50s, about 100 shares of Hilton. Going to look to see this take off through the rule of 3 now. So it shouldn't come back through the 149.10s. That's the way I'm looking at it, because the rule of 3, that's that last little support try right here. And then now it should kind of hold in this area. We'll look to see if it takes off to the upside. Daily chart has a nice trend line towards 150. So that's really what I want to see it break through and then get through this high here, 150.62. And we'll be looking really good in Hilton today. We'll see what happens there.
Nicola coming back up to that 275 spot. We can watch that spot here.
Nicola!
Actually did take a little at 272 on that dip. We'll see.
Good to hear the Airbnbs to the high of the day. Paul C., thank you for dropping that in there. There's 149.50s now looking good here. Let's see if Hilton can take the 150s today. That's something that's definitely on my radar.
Nicola up to 275 while they're hitting it too. Big volume here on Nicola. There we go. And through on Nicola. Nice job. All right. I'm going to take that off right there. Nicola.
Dude, I can't believe they go after this stock, man. Retail sometimes. I can't help them. They can't help themselves.
I'm part of that. That 275, clearly the spot there. Got it from 272 out at 277. So
can you blame them, right? I mean,
this, look, we talk about this all the time. This is a piece of junk, in my opinion, this stock.
No. It's not even just a piece of junk. It is complete junk.
Okay, so there you go.
You're giving it a little too much.
But there's
what do their cars look like?
They don't even have any cars. They sold their IP rights, right? I remember them selling their IP rights and stuff like that. Ryan, the key that you're trying to make, though, is at the end of the day, you're renting the stock.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this all the time. We talk about process and setup. There's a setup there. It happens to be on a total piece of junk, like you said, Mitch, but there was a setup there, so we traded it. That's it.
Hey, can't blame you for it, man. Cannot blame you for it. Now I want to see XOM take off that 103 now. So from here on out, if it doesn't go through that 103, I'm going to go ahead and get out. I can wait for a pullback, but the pullback could be the 102.50. So I don't want it to go ahead and just crush me on a move down here. Just giving it the chance, ticking time bomb. We'll see if XOM just takes off through this 103 here. You guys can see that right here. Let's see if it goes through. XOM, will it get to that new high? All right, looking around on Moomoo, of course, and I see we have some decliners, a pretty good amount today. So we'll see what happens if that continues there. Stocks that are strong today, copper stocks are strong today. So FCX is one you can look at in Southern Copper.
Exactly, Jay. This is exactly it. Nicola, no difference than Carvana. Both junk doesn't mean you can't trade it. Exactly right.
I don't know. I wouldn't compare those two as the same, but hey, to each his own.
No, he's just saying that they're both junky and you can still trade junk. They're definitely not the same.
I think Carvana is a real company compared to Nikola, but that's just my opinion. Right? It doesn't really matter there.
Did I break my chart here?
Like Carvana, you know how you know? Because you can go down your street and you can go find a Carvana. Are you going to go find a Nikola around your corner?
No. No.
You get what I mean? Like that to me, that's like a little bit too different companies there. Like they at least have a product, right? At least have a business.
Morning, Bex. Bex shows up calling Ahi. All
Crow
right.
said, you guys are hydrogen haters.
What's that?
No, it has nothing to do with hydrogen, Crow. It has to do with Nikola itself as a company.
Yeah, the CEO being kind of fraudy. Didn't he get arrested or something?
You talk to me about Plug or FSIL, and I'll even trade those before I trade Nikola. There's XOM through the 103s to 103.5s. Now I want to see this start to take off and don't want to see it break VWAP from here on out.
Wolf, potential spot at 4 here on Wolf. That's WULF, not WOLF. Possible move through 4 here on Wolf. Little extended. This would have been a better add around the VWAP, but there's definitely some size there at 4. That's where it stopped in the pre-market.
FCX pushing towards the upside there. That's definitely looking good there. I'm looking at SCCO. That's continuing to push. That looks interesting there for a nice little daily break above the 78. Now I'd look for 78 pullbacks, but I like SCCO and the way that copper's looking lately. So keep your eyes out on SCCO. We'll see if it pulls back to the 78, but I do like that outlook. Would like to swing trade it there at the 78, but we'll look to see if we get that pullback. FCX pretty strong. Looking at some basic materials to see if this is going to start lifting. Copper's doing well already. Industrial metals and minerals starting to get the lift. Of course, I have Valet, but you guys can maybe look for CCJ to continue that lift from a day or two ago. Looking to take out Tuesday's high 33. This actually looks pretty good. Nice little setup. I'll look for pullbacks if I can get it right now towards 32.90s, but I'm a little late to this trade. It already looks pretty good here on CCJ. We'll look to see if it goes higher. Now starts to hold this as support if it can really make a move to 33.
Some more context here. Becca saying, I live in Phoenix, which I believe is where the Nikola plant is, and I've never seen a Nikola on the road. What do the kids say in that case? Red flag? Yeah, red flag.
Yeah, man. You couldn't see it. You'd have to see someone pushing it behind it, Becca.
LOL. Nick, I know you said you've never seen a Lucid. I've seen plenty of Lucids on the road, multiple colors, so I can confirm that that actually does exist. By the way, Wolf did break through 4 here. Didn't get much of a huge push, so maybe this will set up for us again. Bird is doing laps around the room, and the cat is freaking out. KTTA
Valet
for you penny players. Ooh, KTTA. Good call, Crow. Looks like that tried to take the top and then got yanked. We'll see if that sets up again, too. KTTA.
Hilton pulling back now. Just got to keep an eye on it. The bid separating a little bit there, so just be careful, but we'll see what happens here. All right, so I'm seeing the NASDAQ start going to the red there. So that looks good there for my SQQQ trade. Really want to see the SQQQs just rip above the 17s here. Not going to let them go back through that 1690s. So it should start to get that reversal on the day. That's what I'm going to look for. And of course, we're talking about my Moo trade here. So I'll show you guys that right now. Let's take a look there. I'm up from 1671. I'm going to go ahead and actually raise the stop here to 1690s and look for the rip through the 17s now. And so what can I also do? I can start playing some shorts in tech if I wanted to play it in the day trade style. So I can go for maybe SOX, looking for a 940 break, or I could maybe look for other names to kind of get hit, like NVIDIA, Tesla, right back to the downside. That looks actually pretty weak there. What about Netflix? Netflix looking pretty weak here. I think a lot of people were probably thinking that Netflix was going to come right back up there, and it could just get hit right now. We'll see what happens. I mean, I definitely see a level to kind of risk off of there. 441 seems to make sense. Let's see if it just does a little bit of a wick here to 441.50, and then a takedown through the 439. I'll show you that Netflix chart right here. Let's see what happens. Whoop, whoop. Hydrogen is the only thing that can save a zombie apocalypse. Well, no, Crow. You just got to go to one of my friend's house. Trust me, he has enough rifles to save us all.
I was going to say, man, a good shotgun and a trusty rifle will keep you fine in a zombie apocalypse.
I always say
they're slow moving and dumb.
I always say, the zombies come, I'm going to his house, man. I'm calling him up. I'm just like, hold the fort. I'm coming through. Dude, I'm telling you, man, he has enough guns for all of us in the chat.
For all of us in the chat. THRX, this one interesting here. This back down to its VWAP. Maybe if this holds and gets some more volume expansion in here, we can push away from the VWAP. THRX. Jeff Dees, I think you were on this earlier.
All right, I'm looking at Netflix right now to get a good signal on the market. We just did that kind of wick to 441.58. Now I want to see if we take that out. If not, I think we can maybe take out the 439 on the downside action. But be careful, the shorts out there, right? Because a move back above 443s, you could squeeze a little bit to the upside. All right, I just saw that rejection there, and boom, right back down goes Netflix. Hey, sometimes, guys, I can see some technical analysis work. Look at that. We were talking about this right here. Look where it went to, 441.58. Wick, rejection. Literally what I just talked about. There's the 439 rejection, and there should probably go the Qs. Boom. 382.80s. I wouldn't want to see them lift back above the VWAP for the day if I'm like kind of looking for these shorts, right? We'll see what happens there. Did the bigger stocks let go? Apple now, you want to see it come right back down. Microsoft, go lower. Google, go lower. If those break, then yeah, the Qs can pull back. And the Qs are getting a little bit weak here.
I was going to say, we're just getting some housing data right now. We have June existing home sales negative, down 3.3% to 4.16 million rate. U.S. inventory of unsold U.S. homes at 3.1 months supply. U.S. June median existing home price down 0.9% on year to 410,200. And the U.S. leading index month over month for June, actual -0.7 versus the -0.7 of previously. Estimate was for down 0.6%.
Oil holding up here at the 103s. Couldn't get above that. You could get a pullback to the 80s here, but just kind of keeping an eye on XOM.
SGMA looks like that's kind of stopping at the VWAP. I got the VWAP at 456 here. Looked like it was going to try to take it, but pulling back here. No position in this. Still waiting for a better setup. Boeing at the highs. Where's Staff Sergeant Ryan celebrating this Boeing move here? Let's see if we can actually get Boeing to move up and clear out 225. That probably make it go higher here. AHI, this was in some halts earlier. Let's see where it's at now. Looks like back down. Maybe this tries to reclaim the VWAP. SGMA trying to move back up towards its VWAP here. It's trying.
I was going to say, regarding Boeing, Ryanair, this was this morning, this headline crossed about an hour ago. Ryanair will basically buying new Boeing 737 MAX aircrafts worth over $3 billion at 3 main Ukraine airports.
There you go.
That's your news for Boeing. Thank you, Nick.
Marriott looking good today, so I'm looking to see if I can get the next lift here. It's on the third bounce off the VWAP, so we want to see Marriott get back above 192.50s today. That will help out my Hilton trade. We'll see if it does make the move or not. Airbnb is one to watch out for also. It is just slowly climbing up, so I'm keeping an eye on that. What about those airlines, man, and those earnings, man? Like, people don't listen to UAL's earnings. I feel like they just don't even listen. Because if you would have listened from the very beginning, you'd probably still own it. This year, they gave an outlook of like $11 on EPS. You looking at Grab?
I noticed that it was on the scanner, but it's up today, but it's down from recent days. I just have a couple of those shares in the Moomoo account still. FYBR here looking like this might try to take out its high, 1604. It's currently at 1598. SGMA looks like that's done.
Valero looking great today, guys. You guys know this was a swing trade I got in yesterday. It's still looking good. I would love to see it get to 121 today and really start pushing on the daily. Look at this nice little breakout on Valero on the daily. That's looking great. Next stop for me is a resistance around 122s or 121.90s. So if we get to 121 today, I will take some profits, but this is looking good. XOM, come on. Let's start pushing. All right, how's the SQQQ trade going? I'll let you guys know. Well, there we go. Almost back to the pre-market high, 1715s and going higher. Of course, this is on the Moomoo trade, of course. You guys know. Let's see what we get here. Stay with the herd. I heard Chick-fil-A say that, so don't worry, Chick-fil-A. You can charge me later. I'll go to you all the time. All right, let's see if we take out 1718 here and really start to drive on the SQQQs. There's 1720s. New high on the day there for the SQQQs. Let's go. Let's see if this can keep climbing on the day. And we keep making some more money on the Moo account. 1730s will be looking a lot better, but I'm looking for this to keep pushing. We'll see if this can keep climbing on the day. SQQQs. Put it here on the daily. Next stop for me, I think around 1740s. I would take some profits for sure. All right, looking for XOM to really kind of get through the pre-market or the intraday high there. The high was 103.16. We're at 103.09. Let's see if we take that out. Oil going higher. Let's see it. XOM. All right, and the swing trades, man, that's, you guys see it. I'm trying to do more of it in Moo because that's my bread and butter. So you guys know.
Yeah, I should have swung cooler, honestly, instead of messing around with that day trade. But I felt like I was behind after making a mistake. I just wanted to get out with some green.
Can't blame you, man. Chevron was kind of leading earlier. Now it's back towards the VWAP. So I want to see if XOM leads Chevron now and it just goes higher. And then I can maybe even scout Chevron for a couple of cents. We'll see. This is just playing off the kind of like the move. If the bigger move happens, why not maybe catch one that's off VWAP? Same thing for Oxy. Oxy's down to 60/50s. So it looks kind of like red today. And if XOM can like just rip higher here, I feel good about it going right back towards the intraday high. Chevron already making that little jump a little bit here. It's already to 156.50s. Want to see it take out the 156.50s and could see it go to 156.75s for a little bit of a scalp type of look. We'll see if that does get the push. Really, I'm just looking to see if XOM wants to take off. Probably look for Oxy since it's a little bit on the lag there. How's that MRO? MRO coming right back through the 25s. Of course, I played this one, the 25 yesterday. And this was just kind of sitting there trying to get the next level to go higher. Big level to watch on MRO today is 2530s. Raz, you just woke up? Well, rise and shine, my friend. The market's open. Nick Brown, we're getting a question for you in the chat there about any thoughts on Chewy.
I have a hat for Chewy, so of course I support the company. I actually don't have any pets, so I can't say I buy stuff at Chewy, but Chewy's a good stock. You know, they report earnings shortly, I believe, within the next week or two, I think. But Chewy long term, I think it's good just because the catalyst around it. I mean, Goldman up their target to 50 from 42 July 18th. So yeah, Tuesday. Other than that, I don't see any problems with this company. It's not one of those companies that's scaling really quickly that you actually have to sell. It's a company that's maintaining the stock price, and it's maintaining a good company. And it's not bankrupt like Nikola, and you know, you actually see Chewy's unless you don't see Nikola's. But
I like Chewy. I use Chewy all of the time. I really support that company. I've said it a number of times. If you try to return something, they tell you to keep it and don't charge you for it and donate it to an animal shelter. And I've done that several times, including giving a bag of food to one of my neighbors who's elderly and has a cat. So I absolutely love Chewy. As far as the earnings go, Nick, we have it unconfirmed for August 29th. So I think that they've yet to confirm it. We could always check NASDAQ and see if they confirmed it recently. I don't think so, though. Our team's pretty much on top of that. Looking at the chart here, let me go ahead and pull up the chart. I know Chewy's selling off here today. I do like this long term. I don't have any of it right now. I've actually traded this. I've traded both the options and the stock here. One thing to keep in mind is that it looks like if we break down here, we might test this gap. So weak today, but I do like this long term. Crow, I don't know how you haven't seen Buddy, but he's been literally in here all morning trying to assassinate the bird. He's doing really good, but he's full of energy right now, which makes work hard.
That he is, my friend. Be careful out there. All right, we'll see if Valero goes higher there. Just keeping an eye out on the cues to see if that can keep going lower. Tech names, will they keep cracking here? Netflix is one definitely to watch. It went down from that 339, but now trying to recover back towards 440s. So you could see some buying maybe off the 438s and then a recovery here. But we'll see if it does recover. Netflix definitely one to watch today. Tesla trying to come back there. That's getting hit a little bit further. And what I thought, margins, the way that Tesla mentioned those margins, I see them getting taken a pullback here. Maybe coming back down towards 260s, 240s. I'm not going to go shorting here just because it's already off like what 30, almost 30 points from yesterday.
You're welcome, Alexa. Oh, the one thing I would say is if you're building a long-term position for that, maybe add on weakness, but have a plan for max pain in case it doesn't go the direction that you have. SGMA, let's see if that can reclaim its VWAP. PFRX off the highs a little bit, but really not breaking down. Would love for this to come back into VWAP again.
StockX pulling back a little bit here. NVIDIA went down to 462. Meta down to 312s. That did a little bit of a bull trap also. I'm seeing some trappy action out there that we could see some continued downside action come in here.
I'm not seeing a whole lot of setups here for trades, to be honest with you.
If you're looking for an interesting one, Google setup, if you think you're going to go back to the upside, looks interesting. I'll show you guys that setup right now. It's an interesting one. You can take a look at that one too. But just it looks interesting, right? If you think we're going back upside, this looks interesting off 123s, right? Because you get what upside outlook is $1.50. You could risk here about 50 cents and it still makes sense, right? So on Google here, this is what I always talk about. 3-to-1 looks is what I like. Even though I'm looking at like a short on the SQQQQ, I could still look at this Google trade. It makes sense, at least technically. That's for sure.
Google, we had a gentleman in the happy hour show yesterday saying he likes Google to 130 pre-earnings, so potential play into earnings. We talked about it at the beginning here. Some of these other stocks like Netflix and Tesla really ran into earnings. Maybe they're expecting the same thing here out of Google. Google's earnings in 5 days. This is Tuesday of next week.
Look to see if Google comes back, and what will show us that? The SPY coming back and the Qs coming back. That would definitely help out Google make that move higher.
I was going to say, someone asked me in the chat about the trade desk, ticker TTD.
TTD, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's just another one that ran up so quickly. I think it's like 98% year to date, and it's now pulling back. But, you know, over long term, this would be a good stock, but 98% just year to date. We have a lot of these stocks that are running so quickly that if you do get in them, be careful just because of the declines. And so, yes, TTD is down today like 2%, but again, it's been up, it's 98% year to date, just like Tesla. It's pulling back today. Well, it's because it's been up 130% year to date. Eventually, you're going to have to sell and pull back eventually.
Yeah. Needs to take a break at some point.
That's an interesting setup there on Google, even though everything's red. Apple has a similar setup there off of 195.50s from the 195 spot. And what's the upside outlook? This one's not as good as Google, but it's about $1 to the upside. See what happens there. Microsoft going lower. That one looks like the weak of the bunch. Amazon also pretty weak today. Tesla trying to turn around here. Netflix, will it catch the lift here at 440 or get smacked down right back to 436? Battle's on, guys. SQQQ's at 1714.
GooG might be curling here. Size on GooG here at 258.
GooG. Netflix rejected there. That was interesting there. Interesting rejection there from Netflix. I'm actually going to go a little short here on Netflix and risk just a little bit here, but just getting a little bit short there. Want to risk off the 441 spot here. See if Netflix can just go lower. It rejected that 440 move that I could see for the upside action. Now back above 440s, and yeah, I got to be a little bit careful. So I just gave myself a little bit of a room there towards 441. But we'll look to see if Netflix just cracks here. And this is on the prop. We'll see what happens there. If it just rejects here and comes right back down towards the 438s. Big move here, of course, if the Qs recover, the Qs can recover. That will definitely help it. If the SPY can recover, that will help it. We'll see if it does to go lower, though. A lot of trades for me today just in the middle of the sand. I have got an XOM to go up a little bit. Netflix is just hanging in here right now. Hilton just hanging in there. Will we get that downside action? Let's find out, guys. It's at least just measured. So just risking about $1. And what is the downside move? It's about $2. XOM coming back down fast there, guys. Stopped me out right at the 68. Could have got stop hunted. This could still go higher, but it's just not making the move right now. I could get back in it through the 103s. If it wants to come back through 103s, I'll take a look at it. It still looks good symmetrically, but just not much going on with it right now. And I'll look to see if it just recovers this and it's just a wick out and gets back through the 103s.
There's some size on GooG at 260. It did take 258. They refreshed it, but there's more size at 260 on GooG. So I think we're going to need that for a curl.
Out there, Netflix took a little bit of a hit there on the upside 441 move. Netflix recovering here, so just be careful. SQQQ is still looking strong, so just going to keep riding that higher in Moo account today. Swing trades all looking good there. The only ones in the red, LAC and Lizar. But I'm keeping the Lizar right now. LAC is the one that I'm thinking about maybe cutting.
Just got a PR from Note here. Partnership with Korea's Ministry of Foreign Affairs to provide AI-powered police and data intelligence. So getting another AI PR here on Note. Looks like it popped a little bit on volume, but coming back in. We're still struggling with 258.
SQQQ is continuing there now towards 1724, so it doesn't look too bad there to see the Qs continuing to go down. We'll see if we continue seeing that leak today. That has probably just been the best move.
That was a nice buy there, Mitch.
Yeah, and that's just got to continue to let the profits work, right? And so what am I doing? I am stair-stepping like stops to make sure I'm keeping gains, but I wanted to keep riding higher. PRFX, big knife. Be careful.
Yeah, huge knife right down to the VWAP, beneath the VWAP now. It's trying to reclaim it, but huge knife.
What's up with RXRX today? We're going to get another lift or we're going to get a pullback? That actually looks like a little bit of some pullback setting up there, but it's a pretty strong stock to try to maybe go short.
RXRX holding its VWAP so far.
Yeah. Trying to look at it on the rule of 3. Yeah, it just broke that rule of 3, 550s. I'm grabbing a little bit here in 540s, short, but just be careful, guys. This is a lot riskier. The only way I'm doing this is in the prop.
Market pounding lows right now.
Yeah, I'm even probably going to get out of the Hilton trade. It's just not looking good there. Yeah, getting out of the Hilton trade there. Just going to keep this RX because this looks good. I'm already up like about 10 cents here. I'm looking for a little bit of a bounce back to add some more. Of course, I just got to be careful with RX, but you can see this on the daily coming right back down and creating a big like kind of resistance right here at the 1540s, making at least a move down there, maybe towards 1466. So it's another 60 cents down. Just definitely can't let this get back above 575. That could be a squeeze to 1625. 1520s now, still looking decent in RX. Just want to see it just completely crack to 15s, or if it does come back into like 1548s is where I could add 1550s.
Jeff saying SPY through the pre-market lows. Maybe some more downside here, Jeff. We'll see if it tries to bounce at all here.
Yeah, Netflix with a nice little VWAP rejection. Good call out there, Jan. That's what I like to see, and that's actually a lot better setup than I went into. So shout out to you, Jan, if you're able to nail that. Way better setup to go for the VWAP fade there. So interesting to see you nail that one. Good job, Jan. All right, we'll see what happens here on RX. It did make a little bit of a big bar there. I saw it when it was at 1550. Tried to hit it at 1540s, got 1538s with my limit there. That's not too bad there. Let's see if it comes back here and then rejects.
AHI pushing up towards the highs again. An AHI, that's AHI.
AHI tuna.
Yeah, Wisdom, I mentioned MMAT when it popped there. Not trading it, but did mention it.
Ryan, I had a tough night last night in baseball, man. Faced somebody throwing 92.
Oh, you were playing. Okay. Wow, 92. That's some gas.
Yeah, I haven't seen 90s in a while.
AHI going higher here, folks.
This guy just come out 2 months from Division 1. I'm facing him.
He must have just been roasting people.
Oh yeah, he was roasting people left and right. He was dicing. I mean, when you throw 90s in an adult league, you're gonna crap on some people. Some people were coming back to the dugout like I can't even see it.
Was he mixing speeds at all? By the way, AHI going through that high
slider,
now?
a nice slider and a changeup and lefty to make it worse. He looked like McClanahan on the mound. I was like, yo, who went and got the Rays starter to come start over here? Damn, look at RX at least, guys. At least I'm getting something. Look at that. Boom, baby. To 1480s now. I'm holding on. I got about 100 shares from 1538.
AHI's going to halt here at 490.
Okay. AHI.
Halted.
No. Don't put the money in the emojis. I'll let you slide once.
Carvana even doing anything? Is that even popped up to the VWAP on Carvana?
Yeah, JDs, don't worry. I started timing the fastball. I fouled off 4 in a row, and then he dropped a deuce. He dropped the slider. That thing was nasty.
Was it backwards K or were you swinging?
Swinging, but
okay.
You know, I didn't watch it. It wasn't a strike, but that's why I probably missed it too, right? It was like literally like at my ankles by the time I started swinging.
Oh.
I was going to say regarding Google, there was a report out late last night that Google tests their own AI tools that is able to write news articles. This is continuing more of the same story that we got from Apple yesterday. The product pitch as a helpmate for journalists has been demonstrated for executives at the New York Times, the Washington Post, at the News Corp, which owns the Wall Street Journal. And so what this tool is doing, it basically is known internally by working title Genesis, can take information, details of current events, for example, and generate news content. These are the sources that are telling the Times. One of them says that the product said that Google believed it could serve as a kind of a personal assistant for journalists, automating some tasks to free up time for others, and that the company saw it as a responsible technology that could help steer the publishing industry away from pitfalls of generative AI.
Woo!
I guess
RX,
we'll be
RX.
replaced by AI. Money Mitch AI, Ryan AI, Nick Brown AI. I don't know.
Nobody wants that.
It's just the life we live, man. Just get to the chopper. All right. Yeah, RX, RX. Yeah, you can keep going down. Why don't you give me a halt down? I won't be mad. I don't remember the last time I shorted a stock and then it halted on the downside. Do you remember the last time you did one of those?
No, I don't know that I ever have been in. Can you? I don't even want to. Oh, I'm getting PTSD just thinking about that. In a halt down short, and it just pops open, and so that would suck.
I've never dealt with that. Look at the SQQQs go though. Moo moo.
Yeah, market. This was really the day. This was really the day for that short trade, man. Market really pulling here, pounding the lows. Jay Rice, guy tied for the lead at the Open as an amateur. Yeah, lamp wrecked. I when you were telling me about the NCAA, I actually watched him play a little bit. He shot a 66 today, tied with Tommy Fleetwood for the lead.
All right, guys, going to look to sell half of my position at 1740s. If we can get another little push, I'll look to sell half of it on the SQQQs here. You guys see the order pending there, 740s, 14 shares. I'm just going to look to try to sell half of it there and then keep the remainder for a little bit running, right? And the good thing is I still have 3 day trades on my Moo account right now. This is what? Showing me that I'm starting to being able to do a little bit more swing trading on this account. Normally, I don't swing trade with such low amount, and so I'm trying to like learn how to do it here. And a lot of that is what? Just dealing with the sizing, right? That's what's going to be the thing to focus on. RX just tumbling there, man. I'm just going to leave that alone. That could just continue working all day.
Setups just not there today like they were the past couple of days.
Yeah, it's just one of these like kind of trappy markets. And look at the Qs go, man. The Qs are just leaking. Leak. And a lot of this Netflix, will that crack? That comes back. Be careful though. We could be wicked. Look at Tesla. I thought Tesla would continue leaking on the margin news. I thought that was really significant. Why? Because in the long run, what is going to keep Tesla in the forefront is, yes, it will do deliveries. But guess what? I think in the long run, yeah, you might see Ford and GM sell more volume of EVs than Tesla. And why? Because they can produce more, right? And so I think that in the long run, what is the focus in EV? It's margins. It's going to be a margin type of game, margin type of battle. Can you keep the margins, Tesla, and still sell like you do? And then if you can do that, then yeah, I think you stay the leader. But you give up those margins, and then Ford like doubles your selling volume, you're going to start giving it up.
Yeah, Ahi is open here now.
Ahi.
And lower.
All right, looking for this to hit some profits here, man. I'm trying to get this SQQQs to the 1740 spot. Oil trying to go back up again. So I'm watching XOM again, guys. Talked about it. I got out early. Now I'm going to look for the next run. Like this little pullback here in XOM. Grabbed a little bit there. Coming a little bit at 74s long. $74, 102.60 is the risk now. Risking about less than 15 cents. Just want to see this start to go here. RX. Is this bouncing a little bit? Yes, but nowhere near where I think it can. Like a recovery of 15 is where I start to be like, okay, is it coming back? But it could just reject and reject. Went down to a low of 14.35. Almost a full point up on RX. SQQQs. Let's put that right here. Let's watch to see if we can get the 40s. We're at 39s right now on the offer. Might just adjust and just take the 39s. There you go. You see me adjust, take the 39s. Why? Because if you're just sitting there, what's that penny going to do for me with the amount of share size that I have here? Nothing.
You'd rather have the fill.
I'd rather take the fill. And so I drop down to the 1739, take a fill, sell some. And now at this point, just let it work. Let's go. Not looking bad at all here. Let me put this full screen here so you guys can see the buys and the sell there. Let me go to like a 15-minute chart. Let's show it up here.
And GFAI really moving here. 470 your top spot.
Look at the moo trade here, guys. So look at this, guys. So bought here at 1767, added here at 1674, selling up there at 1740s. That's what I'm talking about. This is swing trading, guys. Not a bad one there. Moo continuing. And remember how I was struggling at 600? Well, look, guys, 621 now. Let's go. You're always going to find this kind of wave action in your equity wave. The key is, can you keep it from dropping down all your gains, right? Can you keep these little down runs in your equity wave small and then push right back through the highs? What is this going to tell you if you're doing this if you're keeping the right risk to reward, you could stay battling in this type of chart. XOM looking better now above the VWAP. I'm going to look to see if that can pull back, and I'll look to add some more XOM on the pullback.
Hey, Mitch. Hey, Ryan. We're getting some reports that ticker HSY, I believe that's the Hershey company, if I'm not mistaken.
Hershey's, baby, is getting smacked right now.
Yes.
What's going on? Please talk to me.
There's a bear cave report out, basically talking cautious comments. I am trying to get access to the report. I'm trying to find the report myself. All right, so the report just come up here on my tab or on my screen here. I'm going to try and quickly read it here on air. So basically what they're arguing is that they say that this year festivals may be eclipsing those high expectations. I'm trying to read quickly to see what they're trying to argue, but they say that there's been problems, but those days are over, that the problems, that this company is not safe. They say that investors view Hershey as America's dominant chocolate company, a safe bet with over a century of consistent growth and a richly valued royalty on chocolatey cravings. Those days are over, they say. And they say today, Hershey fans rapidly growing competition from one of the world's youngest, most talented, and most influential entrepreneurs, 25-year-old YouTube star Jimmy Donaldson, a.k.a. Mr. Beast. They say he's the new chocolate brand. Feastables has waged an all-over war against Hershey in a retail and on social media and is winning. And the Bear Cave believes Feastables' rapid growth will soon take a major bite out of Hershey's profits.
Hey, well, you see Hershey's going down on that. I'm wondering if Mondelez goes down on that. And so I'm looking at it right now to see if it's going to go down on that or get the lift. What happens here? I'm not sure. I'll see what happens there, but definitely Hershey's definitely smacking right back down there. And it was looking bullish on the day. So that's a little bit hard when you get this pre-market wick. Hopefully it wasn't a real sale up there to 251s, but definitely Hershey's getting the pullback there. XOM now up there to 102.89. Is going to look for this to take out 103s and go higher. I have 102.74 is looking great there. RXRX trying to just hold on here. We'll see if this can just keep going lower. How are the Qs doing? The Qs, it went down further. I mean, it's pretty down there at 379. I'll kick it to you, Ryan. What are you seeing?
I was just going to comment on that Hershey rumor that Nick just delivered. I'm going to be honest. I don't know about that one. Craig here in the chat saying that's a BS report. I just don't know if I agree with the thesis that Mr. Beast, a YouTuber, is going to dethrone one of the preeminent American candy companies responsible for, I believe, the most of the chocolate in the United States. I mean, I'll say this about short reports. Those guys do their research. So in the long run, a lot of the times that they're right. This one just on the surface, I don't know. I don't know how this seems. Jay, this was the Bear Cave report you were telling us early was coming, right? I think that's the case. I don't know if I buy this one.
I got to be honest. I don't even know what. I know the Bear Cave and them do their research, but I got to be honest. I don't even know what the heck they're talking about. I'm on YouTube a lot. Mr. Beast doesn't pop up. I'm on TikTok. Mr. Beast doesn't pop up. I've never seen his new chocolate or whatever they're arguing. I think this is one of those reports that they're just trying to create some kind of skepticism, and they just do what their best. They just do what their best is. And I don't believe this report. I quickly scanned it, but I stick with Hershey for the long run.
Hershey's. What's your favorite Hershey bar?
I will probably end up giving you a Mars bar if I don't look this up.
I go with the chocolate with the almonds, Hershey with almonds.
Okay. I'm a cookies and cream kind of guy, you know?
Yeah, I like cookies and cream too. So you're just asking of the traditional Hershey bar, which one is your favorite? I would probably have to say cookies and cream too.
Cookies and cream, baby. All right. Thinking about adding to RXRX, but just got to be careful here.
Yeah, Carmen, I'm with you on that too. This does seem like a good buying opportunity for me. I mean, like I said, the short reporters that you're making a comment here. Short report, again, they do their research. So a lot of that stuff is actually correct. The thesis playing out the way that they say, I'm not too sure about that. I'm not too sure about that for this one. This would have been an excellent scalp. Looks like Marie hit that. It's made for a quick scalp. So I don't see them much anymore, given the market conditions, what they're in, or that we're in, excuse me. But moves like this, I got this from another trader who I actually consider a mentor. I've been following him for a long time, talked to him about stuff. I've actually interviewed him a couple of times here on Benzinga. He used to call these idiot drops. And idiot drops are incredibly efficient at taking advantage of it. And catching a falling knife is not easy, but if you're able to do this, you can make a lot of money really, really quickly. I mean, if we take a look at Hershey here, this sold down to 240, bounced all the way back up to 243. I mean, in a matter of a couple of minutes. This to me, Marie, I'm with you. This to me seems like a scalp. Alexa saying, Ryan, Bear Cave hasn't been doing great shorts for a while. They said they're going to go short Airbnb, and that stock took off. Yeah, and that's kind of what I mean about like the long term, right? Like Airbnb, I can see the short thesis for Airbnb, but in the current market that we're in the short term, no way. I tried. I don't know if you remember, but I tried shorting that too. Closed that trade for a loss.
Adding here to RXRX short. Now I'm moving my average to 1503, but also setting a stop at that average. So it was one of those like ads and go for the home run, but don't lose a single penny on the name.
Got to comment on this. Jay Wild says Reese's is a food group. Those are facts right there. Reese's, this is my favorite, probably my favorite candy. Reese's Pieces, peanut butter cups. I mean, you put chocolate and peanut butter together and magic happens. Becca knows.
I was going to say, Ryan, do you know who Greg like 16676 on Twitter is?
Name with a bunch of numbers with an incredibly shitty opinion? No, I don't know who that is.
I was going to say, he has like over 400,000 followers. He was actually mentioned in the Bear Cave report, basically saying, and they included his tweet that and Greg put this out July 18th, so just a few days ago, saying, quote, I'm exhausted. I just spent the last hour cleaning up this Feastables display for Mr. Beast, but it looks nice now. Basically arguing that this guy is, he put out this tweet and they're saying that Mr. Beast in the long run could overtake Hershey, which again, I don't believe.
That seems too much for me. GFAI, by the way, this was the trade of the day. I didn't take this one, but this was the trade of the day. GFAI, just a monster move. Nice little pullback to VWAP here to give you entry too.
All right. SQQQ is topping out around the 1750s today. And so Q's starting to balance out there. Just be careful. You could see a little bit of move higher. Netflix is a big indicator for me if the market wants to come back today. So it did crack there. I'd look for a recovery of 440s, but that is just leaking lower. Tesla's another one, right? 270s now on Tesla, down pretty much 30 points from yesterday. It's a crazy move to the downside action there. All right, let's go ahead. Let's see what else is being talked about in the chat.
I don't have any new setups here. I'm clicking through this scanner. I'm just wearing out my left mouse button clicking through the scanner. I don't see really anything setting up here today, at least anymore.
All right, looking to see if XOM can
I got
really
nothing,
just start
guys.
taking
Maybe
that next little
SGMA.
step up. I'm keeping with XOM. That's what I've been keeping with all day. All right, that's looking a lot better here. Just wanted to start seeing that lift here. Now to 102.90s. Let's take a look at crude overall. And I'm going to, of course, I'll use my watch list that I have set up here. So let's go ahead. Let's bring this in. Let me get out of full screen here. Take a look at crude overall using Moomoo. Like always, you guys can check out Moomoo if you guys haven't done so in the past. And one thing that I would tell you guys to definitely check it out is use the analytics, right? Check that out, man. There's so much analytics here for you guys to use. I would definitely check it out. I'm going to throw up the link for you guys to go ahead and get that. If not, you guys can always hit the QR code in the top right corner if you guys want to check out Moomoo, or go take a look at Futsu. Is that still moving? Probably still moving. Let's take a look here. Crude overall just made a move to 76 and then a quick pullback. Not what I want to see, but I want to see this get back to 76 today. So I'm going to keep an eye out on that. Just watch on the kind of like an hourly candle here to see if we can finally make a move to 76. You can see we just rejected that. A move back below 75 would not be what I'd be looking for in oil. We'll see what happens today. Hit the like Jan says. Hit the like, everybody. Let's go. Let's get it up there. All right, guys. It's about 10:43. We'll be wrapping up near 11. We still got a little bit more here for you guys. Smash the like, guys.
I wish I had more trades for you guys today. I wish I had more setups here, but just a little late to GFAI. That was probably the best setup of the day.
All right, let's use the Explore tab. Let's see what's standing out here. So I'll take a look here, and I see CAR-T. I see copper still showing up there for the upside. Medical devices showing up there. Abbott Labs, I know, reported earnings today. That's still up. We'll see what happens here. Bristol Myers getting a little bit of a lift there. Trucking stock showing up. And then the smaller names, I do see that PRFX. You guys been talking about that. TTOO. But that's an 11-cent stock. I wouldn't be looking too much into that.
Mitch, I think we're actually bouncing here at 10:45. I think their interview is supposed to start at 10:45.
All right, no worries. And we'll probably just wrap it up a little bit right now, guys. Let's go ahead and clear this up, guys. You guys smash the like out there. Let's get over to All Access in just a second. I'm going to keep grinding here on RXRX and ExxonMobil. Of course, we'll try to continue riding up that SQQQ wave, but at some point, I will take it off on Moomoo. If it does come down below 17s today, we'll see what happens on that SQQQ trade. It's at 1740s right now, so I can keep letting it try to grind higher. We'll see what happens there. All right, anything else for you guys before we get out of here?
No, I'm just watching the market. Kind of an uneventful day. Given the rest of the week, today was the slowest day, at least for me. Definitely missed GFAI, so see if we can correct that for tomorrow. But we'll see it tomorrow.
All right, time to wrap it up. Like always, you guys can check out Nick Brown. You guys see it, News by Nick. And Nick's going to be working hard for us here at Benzinga. And I got something special with Nick planned. We're working really hard for you guys like always. I've been teasing this for a little while. And the reason why is because you'll see it, guys. Really hard work coming for you guys right here on Benzinga. Always appreciate having you, Nick. We'll have you next time, my friend. All right, now to bring on my man, Zunaid, of course. You guys might know this guy, right? The good-looking man right here. How we doing, Zunaid?
Hey, doing well, man. How's your trading today?
Hey, battling, man. XOM starting to go higher. I actually overnighted the SQQQ, so that's actually looking a lot better. And I know that you're a Netflix watcher. You got that Netflix, right?
Netflix. I had to buy my parents their own account. Thank you for that, Mr.
Oh,
CEO.
no. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
No.
You bought your own account. You know you were living on the mom and dad account.
There's no way. You're no, absolutely not. But All American, for those of you who haven't watched it on Netflix, solid show.
Hey, well, have you seen the Pepsi documentary on Netflix?
I haven't.
Check that one out. That's another good one. Have a good one, Zunaid. It's time to get to All Access and uncover some new stories.
Appreciate the insights there, my man. And for those of you joining us, welcome to All Access. This is where we get to talk to executives from publicly traded companies so that we can get your questions answered. So make sure you are active in the chat with us here today. We've got a great interview coming up with Brett, who is a CEO, and Joe, who is a CRO of GPO Plus. Ticker is GPOX. All Access starts right now. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us on All Access here.
Hey, thanks, Nate. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Appreciate you guys once again. We've got a lot to discuss, but of course, for those of you at home that might not be familiar, could you just tell us real quick, what is it that your company does, Brett?
Yeah, sure. So GPO Plus, we're a product development, distribution, and manufacturing company. We work with specialty retailers that we define as your gas stations, your convenience stores, your bodegas, smoke shops, vape shops. And what we do is we find products, or we create our own products that are very well suited for that industry. That's one side. On the other side, we're out to really disrupt a 100-plus-year-old industry with the distribution industry. And we've introduced a new service called DSD, which is direct-to-store delivery, which is a white glove service that we provide for all these specialty retailers. And so our company is broken up into 4 different segments. We have products, we have marketing, we have branding, and then distribution. So I'm going to kick over to you real quick on the products and the distribution. I'll take the rest.
Sure. So on the product side, obviously when we see opportunities, we like to develop our own products because it, creates more margin for us and, better benefit for the company overall and our shareholders. So we've developed certain products in the, male enhancement space. We do things like an herbal alternative to Adderall called Herbarol that we're very proud of, that we have in lots and lots of stores throughout the country. And then we're looking at more and more. Most of the products we're looking at are kind of in that hemp-derived space, products that, again, you'd find in a convenience store, you'd find in a specialty retailer like a CBD shop or a gas station or a smoke shop. And, that to us is very exciting. So a lot of it's speed to market, a lot of it's knowing the regulations and seeing things like the Farm Bill and, what's developing there and acting accordingly and producing the right product for the right customer. But on the distribution side, which is, truly more exciting and how we kind of differentiate ourselves is, we're not looking to put in a 1 million square foot, warehouse in the center of the country. What we do is we create mini hubs, and, we have a distribution company that, we bought the assets for that's based in Lubbock, Texas, right? And you wouldn't think, Lubbock, Texas, but, within a 250-mile radius of Lubbock, Texas, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of stores that are underserved. And so what we try to do is provide the best service. So we're the only choice. Or we're the only logical choice. A lot of these stores could order product, of course, in the mail, and they could wait for it. But what we do is we have our vans and our drivers who are trained on all the products go into the stores. They set the product correctly. They do the merchandising, and they talk to the store owners. So we get great intel and great data. What's selling, what's not selling, what could we do better? And, we really try to set ourselves apart with what, as Brett said, that white glove service. And we build a mini hub. That mini hub then services, about a 200-mile radius. And then we add another mini hub. And when that mini hub services our anchor, clients or anchor partners like Yesway and Allsup as an example, or they're a great partner of ours. Once we establish that, then we actually start to fill in the sales team to start catering to those specialty retailers that are in that same, let's say, geography or within that same radius. And then it's rinse and repeat. And so as we scale, we're adding, I think, 3 new hubs in the next 45 days, which is pretty exciting for us. And we'll just continue to do that and expand across the country.
And so that's distribution, that's our products. Then on the sales side, as Joe was saying, once we get that infrastructure in place, we have an outside sales team that we deploy that go to all the other, smoke shops, vape shops, gas stations, bodegas, convenience stores. And, Joe found an interesting fact. Did you know that 60% of all the gas stations and convenience stores are independently owned nationwide? We always see the big brands, your Circle K and your 7-Eleven, but there's so many mom and pops that we can go into. So once we get that sales team deployed the distribution team deployed to service our anchor companies, then we send in the outside sales reps. And then we have a whole another model, which is a direct to consumer model, which is really web driven. So it's our online technologies with GPOX Labs, one of our divisions. We developed an amazing whiz bang technology called MSRP, which allows us to deploy hundreds of websites based off the same headless commerce database. So without getting too much into the weeds, we have a lot of websites that we develop around specific product categories and specific products to go for that long tail organic SEO strategy. So that's kind of a high level overview.
I appreciate the insight. And yeah, I mean, I've got family members that own gas stations, and I know how important that relationship is with the vendors to make sure,
Let's
hey, this isn't selling.
The show.
Absolutely. We definitely should. But let's, DJ Khalid during 2020 had a saying, business is booming. And it seems like clearly yours is as well, because you went ahead and announced a 320% increase quarter over quarter. I know we just kind of talked about what might be behind that success, but give us a little bit more insight on not just what drove that big increase, but also how it can continue driving for quarters to come.
Sure. So just to give you a little background. So Q4 of last year, we were in like an acquisitive growth mode. We acquired a couple companies, a couple different, product lines. Q1, we looked at this, all these assets we created, we put the puzzle together, and then Q2 is when we started executing. And so I think the biggest attribute to that, huge growth is we did a 100-store pilot program with our new white glove service, the direct-to-store delivery. And what we did is we looked at the numbers from, the quarter previous. We were averaging $580 per sale or per sales per month per store on average. After we introduced the white glove service, we increased that from 580 to over 2,100 per store. And that's with the first pilot program of 100 stores. And as Joe mentioned, we're launching an additional 116 stores with the next 3 hubs. And you want to talk about the future growth?
Yeah, I mean, the future growth also, and when I was talking about product, I neglected to mention one that was kind of big because we do some licensed products as well. And we're very, very excited. We've signed a deal with Yuenglings, if you know the brewery, oldest brewery in the United States. And they've basically tasked us with bringing cannabinoid products to market. Things such as gummies and vape pens and things like that that'll be hemp derived and 100% legal product.
And can I hop in on that?
Please
real quick?
do.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, Yuenglings is the oldest brewery in the U.S. And during Prohibition, they pivoted. They had to survive. They got into dairy, and they've been making ice cream for over 100 years. So I'm from upstate New York, so we all know the Yuenglings ice cream real well. And so all of our flavor profiles are based on the iconic Yuenglings ice cream flavors.
So we will have cherry vanilla as an example,
Right.
tea berry, some of the really great flavors that they've produced. But going back to what Brett said, as we scale this business and these hubs, we're focused in Texas, New Mexico, but we're launching states really, really quickly. And this again, depending on the states, there's different product sets that we're going to be deploying. But we just launched Iowa, which was one of our mini hubs that has been very successful. It's been, I think, 6 weeks since we launched Iowa. Yeah. And again, we'll have further mini hubs throughout. Texas is pretty big, so we can't do it with just one. And then we'll continue to expand. Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, South Dakota, and Wyoming are all kind of on the map for the next, I would say, 6 months. But the most ones would be South Texas, Dallas. And then we'll be launching, for Austin, and then Albuquerque.
Right.
So to give us really good coverage in, the western part of New Mexico.
Now, I know you guys talked about the white glove service. I kind of want to get into the margins a little bit as well, because as you increase, the services and what you do for the consumer, your customers, your B2Bs, I assume margins are kind of impacted on that as well. Any insight on how that's looking, on if your margins were hurt, but then the volume you were doing was increased, therefore it's okay? Or what are we looking at on that end?
Well, yeah, I think that it definitely maps out to where it is okay or more than okay. Adding our own products helps, obviously. So when we have, Herberol, our Adderall alternative, it's a very high margin product because we make it. And, that helps. But beyond that, when you walk into a convenience store, oftentimes, you've got an owner operator and they're busy. They have 1,000, maybe 1,500 SKUs, as you already know. Yeah. And keeping those in stock, if it's up to them, they're probably going to focus on beer and tobacco. And then everything else is kind of tertiary to that. So when our driver goes in and he sees that, hey, you've sold out of, let's say a nicotine vape or something like that. I have a tablet with some homegrown, software that we've developed that our driver can literally say, okay, here, you need 5 of these, sign off. It bills their credit card, and who's better than us? The product gets there. Oftentimes the driver has the product already, in the van. Right. And so they just walk back out to the van, walk in and say, hey, awesome. You need this. We've also forged a great partnership with a nicotine vape company, a brand called Mr. Vapor. And that's been tremendous. It's been very successful so far. And, we've done a lot of, to answer your question though, getting back to the margins themselves, we think that being in stock is absolutely more important than, the few points difference if we were just shipping something in. We've noticed a lot of the broadline distributors, they'll go in and they drop a pallet off in front of the store. And what could be worse than that? So now I've got an employee in the store who's probably unhappy the pallet came. Now I've got to go take that pallet, disassemble it, do all the merchandising myself. And then when I get around to it, reorder what's out of stock. Or I've got GPO who rolls in, the guy's got his Distro Plus shirt on and he's saying, hey, Mr. Store Owner, you need this, this, and this. Oh, and by the way, I've got this, which is new. And making that suggestive, sale, which more than makes up for, maybe that squeeze on the margin to provide that service.
Yeah. Now, as I mentioned, I've kind of seen those conversations of, hey, we've got this new thing coming. Do you want to try it? I see cherry selling. So here's another cherry product. And it's all about kind of linking those dots as well. Let's talk about this. It was interesting because I believe you got a display near the cashier where it says something along the lines of Feel Good Shop. Plus. What is Feel Good Shop Plus? Thank you for that. Yep. What is that?
Yes. Well, the Feel Good Shop Plus it's great because a lot of these products are age restricted. Right. And so you can't necessarily leave them in the same aisle as the candy because then, it could be something that a child picks up. So you don't want that. So also these items are higher dollar. So to reduce shrink, we actually have, it's basically a clear plastic or, Lexan display that's got multiple shelves. It's only accessible through the back. And we load this up with the product. We're making a suggestion, to the retailer that these are the products you should carry. And, we work with them to develop that set. But that is one of, we actually have multiple cubes, in some stores. And that's where you'll find, your Delta 8 gummies or whatever it may be is going to be in that cube. The nice thing is also to reduce shrink, we have ways of securing those cubes to the counter. We've worked with the stores to make sure that they're, on camera, so that we make sure that no one's reaching, back behind to grab something without being filmed at least. And, the idea really is to be able to deploy quickly a whole solution set for a retailer. So a new retailer, an independent, let's say gas station in, the middle of New Mexico wants to try out our products and we can deliver a full solution set that's secure, safe, and kind of meets those requirements of the retailer.
And can I add one thing to that?
Please.
Sure. So in addition to the counter space we have, which is amazing because we're right by the register, and of course that attributes to more revenue and more sales. In some of our anchor stores, we also have a full shelf, a 4-foot or in some cases a 3-foot shelf in the HBA section. The HBA section is your health and beauty accessories. So if you've ever been to a 7-Eleven or Circle K and you need like the 2-pack of Tylenol PM or Pepto-Bismol, in that section we have the top shelf that we're currently merchandising now with more products that really diversify us from that recreational hemp category.
Well, I appreciate the insights and, very familiar with some of the products and, of course, the processes that you mentioned as well. We do have about less than 30 seconds here, but anything else that you want our viewers to know about before we hop off?
Yeah, absolutely. If I would encourage everyone to go to gpoplus.com/IR and sign up for our investor portal. But if you go under our news section, we did a really good shareholder update, and we just recently started, sharing our news story to the investment community. This is, as a matter of fact, our first real interview was with you guys in your audience to tell your community about our business model. But no, I think we're in explosive growth right now. I think that we've done a good job keeping the float tight, our number of outstanding shares tight. Most of those shares are in the hands of officers, directors, and key investors. And I think we've got a really good launch pad and a strong foundation that we've laid to really experience the next phase of growth for GPOX.
Awesome. Appreciate the insights, gentlemen. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning.
Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You guys have a good one. And of course, for those of you in the chat as well, make sure you follow along the story of GPO Plus and make sure you do your due diligence to see if it's worth investing your hard-earned money, which to me, the margins and of course, what's coming down the pipeline. Make sure you visit the website and see what that looks like as well. We appreciate you for watching All Access. Hang out though, because we've got a nice little webinar coming up on gold. So if you're interested in that, stick around. We'll have a lot more for you, but All Access ends right now.